I'm Peter Ibbetson. I'm Chairman of Small Businesses for the Royal Bank of Scotland Group and NatWest. And what drives me is trying to start as many businesses as we possibly can. Well, the role I've got as Chairman of Small Businesses for NatWest and Royal Bank of Scotland Group is to try and help as many businesses in the UK as we possibly can. We've got about 1 million people under 25 out of work at the moment. Many of those will actually have to make their own way in life, start their own business and run those businesses. And I see my role as helping those people do just that. Well, I think there's two key components whenever you're thinking about starting your business. Firstly is knowing about the subject that you actually want to get out there and run and make some money at. You know, do bear in mind when you're in business, the reason you're successful is because you're better than the next person at doing that. So knowing what you're doing is absolutely critical. But the second thing that you fundamentally need is passion. You know, you need to have that passion and that drive to do it, because you know, you'll hit some bumps in the road. You know, you'll hit some lonely days. Running your own business is quite a lonely place to be a lot of the time. So you need that passion, you need the drive, you need that sort of feeling, that sense of emotion and ownership to make it work. So yeah, know what you're doing and then, you know, have that passion inside you to deliver it. Spend a bit of time setting your plan in place, and that plan is, where do you think your market is? What do you think what are you going to do? Where's your competition? Where are the sales numbers that you need to make? Where's the profit figures that you need to make? So you build that plan as to why you can make this business a success. That's what your business plan is all about. And then go for it. Do you know, one of the things that we find so many businesses don't have is a business plan. So what do we mean by a business plan? Look at me as a business owner and say, what do I see as my business plan? Well, I think many businesses would admit it's actually in there. I've not actually written it down. It's really important you write it down. It's really important that it gets challenged. It's really important you revisit your plan regularly. So what's the plan? Chapter 1 is what your idea is. How are you going to make this work? Challenge yourself as to how this idea is going to make it work. Chapter 2 then becomes the financials. So what are my profit margins? What is available in this market? How many of these units have I got to sell? What have I got to do each month to make this thing profitable? Chapter 3 is cash flow. How am I going to make my cash work? So I've got to wait for debtors to pay me. I've got to pay my creditors. I've got to pay my suppliers. So how are you going to make your cash work? Chapter 4 is marketing. How am I going to market my brand? How am I going to get people to be aware of what I am trying to do? Chapter 5 is challenge. Look at all that all over again and challenge it and challenge it and challenge it. Firstly, planning. So I'd look at how I best plan this business. Look at where my market is, look at where my competitors might be, and look genuinely where the opportunity lies for me to start a business. The second thing I would do is challenge that. So challenge those assumptions that you make and ask people. Third thing would be talk to people, take their advice, take their counsel, and listen to them. Listen to the challenges that come in. And the fourth thing I would do is focus on my cash flow. More businesses don't succeed because they simply run out of cash. So do take a pretty pessimistic view about how this thing's going to work out on a cash basis. So look at cash flow as the fourth piece. Make sure you get your website up and running. Many people try and start a business without a website, and in today's world, that's probably not doable. Yeah, if you run your own business and start your own business, it can be a very, very lonely place. And it's not just lonely because you're on your own doing it. Often it's quite lonely because you simply don't know how to do things. You don't know about VAT. You don't know how to manage the tax situation. You don't know how to register a company, how to manage insurance and all those sort of things. You don't know about employment contracts. You don't know about sales contracts. You don't know what to do if something goes wrong. A lot of things you don't know about. And in those circumstances, having a mentor, having somebody you can just talk to who's not necessarily the family member, someone who's independent, somebody who's been there and done it and got the scars, having that mentor is hugely, hugely valuable. And they'll tell you how it really is. They'll challenge you on your assumptions. When you think everything is brilliant, they will challenge you on what might happen if what you want to happen actually doesn't happen. So mentor's really, really important. The best place to get a mentor in that circumstance is to go on the Mentors Me website. So here's a big mentoring program that's run by the banks and run by government, and you can access a mentor to help you through mentorsme.com. I actually think it's more in the older generation where's the fear of failure. The younger generation is more around the fear and the uncertainty about actually how to do it. So if you go to the internet, for instance, and go to a website called smarter.com, Smarter will actually guide you through how do I check whether the name I want to use is available, how do I register this company, how do I get a memorandum and articles of association in place. So they'll set the thing up for you to say, I now have a business that's worth running. Then you take that pack and you go to the bank and say, I'd like a bank account open please in this name, and there's the pack that you need. Then you're up and running. You're ready to go into business. Nothing more, nothing else to worry about except running your business. And stick to that plan, listen to people, take advice, and gradually move your business to success. There's a wonderful website that Rawbank runs called BizCrowd. So if you look at BizCrowd, and on BizCrowd you can look at online trading, you can link with other businesses. So if you're going into business and you're not on BizCrowd, go on BizCrowd and start talking to businesses. So there's a lot of help that's there for businesses. The banks are firmly open for business. But when you look at the lending